Okay, here's a question I was asked to solve. It's an experimental probability question. So, the Winter Clothing Drive has received donations of 5 coats, 23 pairs of gloves, 19 scarves, and 3 hats so far. Based on this data, what is a reasonable estimate of the probability that the next donation is not a pair of gloves? All right. So, first of all, as with any probability, um, experimental probability is just experimental, means it's based on either an experiment or I like to say an experience. Okay, so the experience here was that a winter clothing drive received donations of 5 coats, 23 pairs of gloves, 19 scarves, and 3 hats. So we have to figure out favorable outcomes, which is the number we're looking for, over total outcomes. All right. So it's usually easiest to start with the total number of outcomes. Well, based on our experience, there were 5 coats, 23 pairs of gloves, 19 scarves, and 3 hats. So if I were to add these numbers, 5 and 23 and 19 and 3, 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 9 is 17, plus 3 is 20. Carry the 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 50. I just want to make sure of that. 5 plus 23 is 28, plus 19 is 48 minus 1 is 47, plus 3, yep, 50 total outcomes. So there were 50 total outcomes in our experiment or experience. All right. Now, the favorable outcome is the outcome we are looking for. All right. It doesn't mean good, favorable. I know it sounds like it has a connotation of good, but the one we're looking for to occur. So it's a reasonable estimate of the probability that the next donation is not a pair of gloves. Well, if you think about it, 23 were a pair of gloves, which means 50 minus 23 are not gloves. Not gloves. So that would be 27, right? By the way, another way to check that, let's change the color up a bit. Okay. The other way to check that is 5 coats plus 19 scarves plus 3 hats. 5 plus 19 is 24, plus 3 hats is, yep, 27. Were not, keyword, not a pair of gloves. So 27 out of 50, couple ways you could think about it, is something out of 100. In this case, it's 54 out of 100, which is 54 hundredths. Now, if you didn't see that, that's fine. We can also do it, let's do it in green, this way. 27 over 50 is 27 divided by 50. So, how many times 50 go into 27? It doesn't. How about 50 into 270? Well, 5 times 50 is 250. Remainder is 20. Bring down the 0. 50 goes into 200 4 times. 4 times 50 is 200, meaning that there's no remainder, so 0.54. So whether you get it this way or that way, you have a 0.54 0.54 probability that the next donation is not a glove, because 27 out of 50 were not gloves. That's the probability that the next donation is not a glove. I hope that helps.